Hey guys, we're in a new month now, so it's time for me to give you all an update on how our debt-free journey is going. So if you're interested in seeing the progress that we've been able to make in our debt-free journey in the month of July, make sure you keep watching. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is OZELLA, and my channel focuses on being more intentional with money by budgeting better and getting out of debt. Right now, me and my husband are on a journey to pay off 6 figures worth of debt. So I would appreciate any support and encouragement that you all had to offer. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. But if you're a returning viewer, I just want to say thank you so much for all of your support and encouragement. I appreciate every comment that I get from you all. Thank you. Now, before I actually show you my numbers for July, I do like to give you some basic tips in how you can start and track your debt-free journey. So one of the first things that I recommend you do is write out a list of all of the debts that you owe. So anybody you owe, you want to write a list out and make a note of it. So that's what you can see here. I've written out a list of all of my creditors. I also track the minimum payment, the interest rate, the balance, and then the debt type. And that's just personal preference. So at the beginning of each year, you want to kind of see where you stand as far as your debt, and that's what I attempted to do here. However, January was a complete bust for us, so I started in February. But my debt-free journey actually started in 2019. So after you write out a list of all of your debts, all of your creditors, you have to kind of look at it and see how are you going to pay it off. So there are 2 main methods that people normally use, the debt snowball method and the debt avalanche method. And basically, without going into too much detail, the debt snowball method has you paying off your debt from smallest balance owed to the highest balance owed. And the debt avalanche method has you paying off your debt from the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate. So you just have to kind of research the 2, look at your debt situation and see which one makes sense for you. Another thing I recommend you do is to track your debts as you pay them off. So you can see this is what I've done here. In 2019, I've tracked the debts that we paid off in 2019. And then again, I started in February 2020 tracking what we paid off. And this just helps you motivate you and helps you see the progress that you've been making so that you know that you haven't been putting in all this work for nothing. And also, when you know the method that you're going to use to pay off your debt, you want to come up with a basic debt payoff plan. So basically, you want to write out each month what you plan to pay towards that month and when do you expect that bill or that debt to be paid off. So that's what I've tracked here. And this is pretty much my goal for the year. And if I meet this goal, I'll be a-okay. If I surpass it, then even better. But as I pay these payments off, I just put a basic check mark to see how I'm doing. So as you can see, I am right on track here with August. I've paid off these things and now I'm here working on Capital One, that's what I'm going to be working on in August, paying off this Capital One card. But in all honesty, I'm actually ahead because I've already paid off Citi. So anything that I have extra to go towards debt this month is going to go straight towards Capital One. Nothing is going towards Citi. So I'm just a little bit ahead. It's just kind of like a visual so that you can kind of see where you are in relation to the goals that you set for your debt payoff plan for the year. Within the debt section of my budget planner, I also have some coloring debt trackers, which to be honest, I haven't been using them like I should, but I still think it's a good idea for some people to use a coloring tracker. It just gives another visual to see how far you've come and how much more you have to go. Now, my preferred method to track my debts individually is to use this debt snowball tracker. I like to write out the starting balance for that debt and then track each individual payment that I make until it's paid off. So I use the debt snowball tracker to track. Now, some people may like this method or some people may prefer the coloring sheets, but whichever way is really going to help motivate you, that's the method that you can use. And by the way, if you like any of the printables that I'm using today, there is a link in the description to my shop. You can purchase yours. And I really thank everybody who's purchased from my shop thus far. Thank you so much. Now, getting into our summaries, I'm getting ready to show you all my numbers for July. So, I've already filled out the bulk of the debt tracker because if I did it on camera, it would just take entirely too long, and I just really want to be respectful of your time, but I do want to show you what you're looking at. So each month, I write out a list of all of my creditors for that month. I put the starting balance, the finance charge, which is the interest that was charged that month, the payment that I made that month, and then what the ending balance is after that payment was taken into consideration. So I track that, and then I pretty much do like a 1-page snapshot of my debt. So what I'm going to do now is do some calculations. So the first thing I want to know is how much did I pay in total towards my debt this month? So what I'm going to use is this payment column here. I'm just going to calculate the totals here, and you can see that all of these say 0 right here because my student loans right now are on the COVID forbearance. But if you have taken advantage of that COVID forbearance, I just want to let you know that that ends next month on September 30th. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with the next stimulus package that they're doing, but as it stands right now, just know that that student loan forbearance due to the COVID-19 is ending on September 30th. So to determine the amount that we've paid towards debt, again, I'm just going to calculate everything that's in the payment column. So this month, we have paid $2,327.17. That's how much we paid towards our debt this month. Now I'm going to deduct the interest. So I want to see how much interest accrued this month. So what I'm going to do is calculate everything that's in the finance charge. That's going to tell me out of all of the payments that I made, how much of that went to interest. So out of that amount, $753.96 went towards interest. Now to figure out how much went towards my principal, which means how much actually went towards bringing the balance of my debt down, I'm going to deduct the interest from that total amount here. So $23.27.17 minus $753.96. So in total, towards the principal, we've paid $1,573.21. Now, for my beginning debt balance, this is basically the balance of my debt at the beginning of this month. And the only thing I do is go back to the previous month and look at the ending balance. So the month end balance here is going to be my beginning balance for the next month. So this is June. And in June, we ended the month with $94,324.62. So that's going to be my beginning balance for July. All right. And then what I want to do is deduct this total towards principal here from this amount, and that's going to give me my ending balance. So 94,324. All right. So we are ending the month with $92,751.41. Now, for my cumulative, what I'm going to do is take the principal here, so 1573.21, and I'm going to add that amount to last month's cumulative amount of debt that we paid off. And by the way, I do know that this is spelled incorrectly here, but I did make that change on my inserts. So when you if you buy this insert, just know that this is an actual U right here, not an A. But I'm going to add the total principal amount that we paid, and I'm going to add that to this amount here. So I've already got that in the calculator, so I'm going to add it to 53,672.08. Altogether, we have paid off $55,245.29. So since we started our debt-free journey, this is the amount that we've paid off so far. So another thing that I'm tracking is my credit score. Because my goal is to buy a house at some point, I do want to track my credit score to see how paying off debt is affecting my credit score personally. So for Equifax for this month, actually my credit score wasn't updated for July, so it's still 633. It's no change there. But for Experian, it was updated and it's still 681. And then for TransUnion, it was updated and my credit score is 647, which is an increase of 5 points. So my credit score actually went up 5 points. One thing I do want to note for July, we were able to pay off Sallie Mae. I initially wanted to just start working on my credit cards, but it made sense to pay off the Sallie Mae because it had a higher minimum payment amount that could increase our debt snowball. So we went ahead and paid off Sallie Mae. And then I also had a Cox bill that came up, which was, it was $304 and some change, but they took off like some kind of fee or something. And so it brought it down to $292.16, which we did also pay that off in July. So I've already told you that when we pay off a debt, I do like to track it and keep a list. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. So for July, we've paid off Sallie Mae. And the amount that I'm going to write is not the amount that we paid off in July, but actually the starting balance that we had at the beginning of the year, which you can see for Sallie Mae here, it is $1046. So I'm going to write that here. And then we also paid off Cox, which is not on this list because it just showed up in July or June. So Cox was $292.16. And then the only other thing I like to do on here is highlight the debt that we paid off. So all of these highlighted debts are what we've paid off this year so far. And really quick, back to my debt summary. So one thing I do want to make a note of is right now we are pretty much working on all of our debt other than the student loans. So everything from this little highlighted section here is what we're focused on. This is all of our credit cards, and we really want to pay this off first and then worry about our student loans. Hence why we had no issue putting our student loans on forbearance. So one of the things that I did was temporarily stop my 401k contributions. So I'm hoping that the extra money will allow me to pay off more debt these next few months. Now, I can't say one way or another if that's something that you should consider. But what I will say is you have to look at your own situation. Now, when I was weighing the pros and the cons versus whether I should stop my 401k contribution or not, I kind of determined how much money I would actually be losing because my job, I was contributing 6% and my job matches the first 4% as long as I'm contributing 6%. So pretty much for like every $200 that I'm contributing, my job contributes $150. And that's kind of like free money, right? But I am moving in November and I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay with the same employer, but I basically based it off the fact that if I'm leaving anyway, that's just going to be $1,000 that I'm missing out on, as far as free money is concerned from my job matching it. And then I am young, so I still have a long way to go, before I have to actually pull from retirement. So I do still have many years that I can kind of replace that missed contribution money towards that 401k. So again, you just kind of have to look at your own situation and figure out if that's something that you can and should do or not. Now, since City is paid off and Sallie Mae is paid off, the next thing we're working on is this Capital One. So $2,093.35. That is the next debt that we are working on paying off. And by the end of this year, we hope to be able to pay off the Capital One, the PayPal, and Chase. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to pay off Chase. I was just being a little optimistic. But me and my husband are doing the savings challenge, and we plan to put that money towards our debt as well. So by the end of the year, we should have $2,020 to be able to put towards our debt. So I hope you enjoyed the update that I gave you all. Really, as long as our debt balance is going down each month and not going up, I'm perfectly okay with the progress that we're making. Like, it's so easy to compare our journey to other people, but we really have to take it for what it is and be proud of our personal accomplishments and how we're doing with our debt-free journey. So I'm really proud of my husband and I and the progress that we are making on our own debt-free journey, because there were so many times that we wanted to pay off debt. There were so many years that we tried to start our debt-free journey and just ended up in even more debt. And for us to still be doing this and not purposely accumulate any new debts this year, like, we're doing it. Like, I'm so proud of us. And that's what you have to do. You have to look at your own debt-free journey and pull out all of the achievements, because it is much to be proud of. So again, if you want any of these inserts that I used today, you can find a link in the description to my shop. And until next time, guys, bye.